for the Thursday, December 16, 2021.
Time is 7:15.
We're not usually late, but there's a lot happening for the end of the year, and pretty close to the end of the year. Our budget is passed. I'm delayed. Oh, I can't, aren't I? So it's good to see that we're all here. We're all in our places with sunshiny faces. And this is the way we start our board meeting. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you. Trustee Husani? Here. Trustee Gutierrez?
Here.
Trustee Porter?
Here.
Trustee Kemper?
Here.
Trustee Bancole?
Here.
Trustee Prigge?
Here.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. I hear no changes. Madam Clerk?
Could I remove 7A2 and 7A5?
7A2 and 7A5. Okay.
Thank you.
We have
Second.
thank you. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Prigge?
Yes.
Trustee Husani? Motion passes.
Thank you. Presentations. Oh, boy. Police Officer Camille Labanowski, please come forward. Hey, stand up.
All right.
You didn't forewarn him.
I wanted to preserve the surprise. Good evening, all. We look forward to these occasions in the police department where we get a chance to formally welcome our newest police officer. Not all departments do it this way with a public swearing in, but I'm proud that we do because it gives us a chance to allow our newest member of the department to make that formal public commitment to the agency, to the profession, and to the community in which they'll be serving. And so we're happy to offer a warm welcome to Officer Camille Labanowski. Officer Labanowski comes to us by way of our lateral hire program, in which we are recruiting trained and ready-to-go police officers for a shortened training period where they can get out and get out in the community right away. So I'll ask Mayor Craig to read a brief bio of Officer Labanowski and then swear him in.
You'd have your family join you. This is a family-oriented community. We all love one another in this town. Oh, I love the hats. This is a beautiful thing. Now that you got to suffer for this. Camille Labanowski joined the police department on November 15, 2021. Camille comes to us from the Chicago Police Department, where he was a police officer since 2017. During his time with Chicago PD, Camille served in various roles with the Patrol Division. Camille was recognized for his dedicated work in Chicago, having received multiple department honorable mentions for recovered stolen vehicles, firearms, and narcotics. Most recently, Camille was assigned to the Community Safety Team, which works to engage in the community and provide timely response to critical incidents. Camille is a graduate of Westwood College. Is that in California? Where's Westwood College?
In Chicago.
It's in Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay. Can we acclimate you to the suburbs? The wife responded. Don't worry about it. I get it. Where he received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Camille is bilingual and speaks fluent Polish. I was just invited by the Polish editor of some big magazine. He said, I've been trying to interview you for 2 years. That's going to happen. I may have to bring you along so I can understand. Camille is joined tonight by his wife, Natalie, his children, Adrian and Alex.
Which one? Who's Adrian? Put your hand up.
Give me five. There you go. Can you do that too? Oh, yeah, okay, we're all on board. And as well as his other family members, and it's nice to have you all with us tonight. I'd like to add, if I may, I'm also on the Metro Board, and I asked the Metro Chief of Police, Perez, I said, so how we doing with our department? You know, and you talk about the Metro Department. He says, we're picking up some of the finest from the city of Chicago. And I look forward to Hanover Park picking up one of the finest from the city of Chicago. And I have nothing but optimism and reindeer hats. So we'll do the little swearing in. Would you like to raise your right hand? Hands on the Bible. Family getting pictures of all this? Oh, I guess so. I state your name.
I, Camille Labanos,
Do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I'll support the Constitution of the United States
that I support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of police officer
the duties of the office of police officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
No blood yet.
I know, lots of pressure. Good luck for now. We'll fix it in a second.
Very good.
Thank you.
Get a photo together.
Congratulations.
Oh, stay here.
Do you maybe want to move those things over, the signs and the hand sanitizer?
Okay, very good. If you would, please meet our board. And before you go, comes their signs. None!
Socks? Did you say socks?
What did he say?
He said none. Must be a soccer fan.
Just remember, Santa's a Sox fan.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Merry Christmas.
Very good, very good. Okay, I've had my fun. We usually get Cubs, we get Sox. We had one abstain. Now we had, no, neither one. So I'll have to fight a soccer team. Thank you, and my best to you and to your family. Very good. Town hall session. We have someone signed in for town hall.
We do.
And we will be receiving Greg Schwartzy, DuPage County Board Member, District 6, and give us a little DuPage County update. So Greg, pleased to have you with us. We chop you off at the knees at 5 minutes.
Fair
But,
enough, fair enough.
You're, I'd like to say that you represent us on the ETS board, ETSB, is it?
Yes.
And we're very critical about making sure our police and our fire are adequately equipped with the radios they need, and we have good support in both departments. Inspections, everybody supports one another. So we may be a little heavy-handed there, but I'm counting on you to lead us through muddy waters.
Well, that,
in a
and
superb way.
that topic will come up here and probably in 3 to 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So, first of all, thank you for having me. My name's Greg Schwartzy. I reached out to Mayor Craig earlier this year, at the beginning of the year when I was elected to the DuPage County Board. Just a real brief summary about myself. I was a Carroll Stream firefighter for 22 years, a professional firefighter for 28 years. I just retired 2 weeks ago, so he's coming in on the other side. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. I served as a Carroll Stream Village trustee for almost 14 years before I ran for the DuPage County Board. I know some of you, I met some of you. I know I'm friends with, on social media with some of you, so hopefully after the meeting I'll have a chance to introduce myself in person. So just real briefly, I just want to give you a few updates. Some of this stuff you may know, some of it you may not, and please feel free to ask questions anytime. So with regards to ARPA funding, you may know that the county received $180 million. Just some of the things we're going to be using that money for. There's $16.5 million has already been allocated for small businesses. $23 million has been allocated for stormwater improvements. They do have those projects kind of earmarked, and I don't know if there's any in Hanover Park or not, but I can find out if you're interested.
Yep,
You already may know if there are. So
We're always interested.
okay. $10 million for community service grants, which is really there to battle for our most needy, which includes, you know, making sure people aren't hungry, that they have a roof over their head, and we're really going to focus over the next few years on the mental health with the COVID and the impact that has had. I should have prefaced by saying the committees that I'm on the DuPage County are the Judicial Public Safety, Health and Human Services, which is like the social services arm of the county. I'm actually serve on the same committee, the Intergovernmental Committee with your mayor. I'm on the Public Transportation Committee. I'm on Finance. I'm on the Hope Opioid Task Force, which is near and dear to my heart, especially being a firefighter and a paramedic for so long. And I am the chairman of the Emergency Telephone System Board. And I will talk about that in just a second. One of the things in my role as I'm the vice chair of Health and Human Services, with my role there and with my role as the chair of the ETS board, one of the things that we were able to put into ARPA funds is we're going to spend about a little over $1.5 million to create a 211 phone system. It's not uncommon throughout the rest of the state, just that DuPage doesn't have one and Cook County doesn't have one. It's similar to 911. When you have an emergency, you dial 911. You get your wonderful dispatch center, and they take care of you. 211, the county offers many social services. Most people don't even realize how many different things that we offer. How do you get a hold of them? You got to dial a 9-digit number, and after hours, there's no one there to answer it. 211 is a shortcut that you can dial 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. That's going to get you someone on the other line to be able to direct you to the entity that you need help for. So it doesn't sound like it's a huge deal, but I guarantee you this program will save lives. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. We also, you may have read this in the paper, we used $2 million worth of ARPA money, and we coupled it with $3 million of the CDBG grants to where they're turning a red roof into an interim housing center for homeless people. So it's going to be in Downers Grove. It's going to be 130 units, and it's just a really wonderful opportunity to help those. Other items besides ARPA funding, you may have heard that we recently approved the purchase of the new voting systems. Our previous system was over 20 years old. We bought it used, and with all the discussion over the last year on election safety and security and trustworthiness, I'm telling you, this is top of the line. It's absolutely wonderful. It's Hart InterCivic, which Hart's been around a long time, but this in particular system is new for Illinois, though I was witness to an interview with St. Louis County in Missouri. They just bought the same system. They used it last year, and their election commission, which is made up of 3 Republicans and 3 Democrats, they all just raved about it. They said it's absolutely trustworthy, it's simple to use, it's environmentally friendly because it's only going to print out a ballot when you show up and ask for a ballot. And so we were really excited about that. In fact, I think the machines just came in just a couple days ago. So almost done here. We recently approved the redistricting map for the county. You probably didn't hear a lot of hubbub on it because it's pretty benign compared to everything that's going on with the federal and the state changes. In Hanover Park, there's no changes. You guys are, the DuPage part of you is incomplete in District 6. Now, the last thing I was going to chat about was the ETSB. So the Emergency Telephone System Board controls the 911 surcharge. The state charges $1.50 for it's a tax, a 911 surcharge tax on everybody's phone bill. If you look at your phone bill, you'll see a 911 surcharge tax, whether or not it's your landline or your cell phone, or maybe you have 5 cell phones in your family, and each one is going to have that $1.50 surcharge. They're going to continue charging that, the state, unless the state changes their mind. That money is then distributed, doled out to the counties all across the state to provide the dispatching equipment and things like that for 911. It doesn't give money to the ambulance services or anything like that, or the fire departments. It's strictly for the people who answer the 911 telephones. About 12 years ago, the ETS board decided to purchase interoperable emergency radios for all your police and firemen. We didn't have, before 12 years ago, we didn't have interoperable radios. This kind of came out of the 911 tragedy when you had all these different departments going to New York City and they couldn't really talk to each other. You know, you had firefighters searching in different areas, weren't able to talk to police and so forth. So the importance of interoperability, the necessity and the importance of it was realized at that time. And so the ETS board purchased it for everybody, and all the police and all the firefighters that fall within our jurisdiction, which is every community in DuPage County aside from Naperville, because Naperville has their own ETS board. At the time they purchased those, they said it was the one-time purchase. The radios, the Motorola top-of-the-line radios, have a 10-year warranty, which for technology is actually pretty darn good. Well, it's been 11 and going on almost 12 years, and we're still using those radios, and they're still working fine, but it's hard to find replacement parts for them. It's hard, the warranty is expired for one, and then it's hard to find replacement parts. It's almost impossible to buy a battery, an American-made battery anyway, for the replacement of these radios. When I was named to the chair of the ETS board back in a year ago, really, my first thought was, let's look at, and again, a lot of this is coming from me being a career firefighter for so long, knowing the importance of this, was to, let's see what our budget is, because if we're not going to buy these radios again, the communities are going to have to buy them themselves. And at approximately $8,000 a radio for 40 firefighters, 40 police officers, I don't know what Hanover Park has, you know, that's $500,000 you guys are going to spend on replacing these radios, and that's, and it includes all your mobile radios inside your police cars and fire trucks. Our ETS executive director did a really fine job of spending over the course of the last 10 years, and we have the money in that account. So I spent this pretty much all of this last year pushing to try to see if we could get these radios purchased. And as of our meeting in November, after a lot of hard work behind the scenes, we were able to get a unanimous vote to get these radios purchased. So it's, you know, if I never do anything else, I can hang my hat on that basically we got every firefighter and every police officer in DuPage County, again, aside from Naperville, a brand new radio, and they're top-of-the-line Motorola radios. They'll be coming out somewhere in the next 3 to 6 months. It could be a little sooner than that, but I think that's probably a safe bet. So that's what's going on. I appreciate you giving me the time, and I put my cards in front of you guys. Please reach out if you have any questions or concerns at all. I'll be happy to answer. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Greg.
Thank you.
We don't typically get into a dialogue at town hall session, but I wanted you to have the opportunity to present to the board.
I'm sorry I did go a little long.
At least they know least they know who you are. And I think you're doing a fine job. You have a nice history in Carroll Stream.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
My best to your family, and happy holidays.
Thank you.
Very good. Anyone else for Town Hall?
No, that's it.
Very good. Oh, here I am again. Village President's Report. I didn't take any notes, but I just spent the Friday, Saturday with the IML board and put together our legislative agenda for the coming year, pulled together our committees, and had some little downtime with everyone, and but it was a good meeting. We had Senator Durbin come and speak to us, and I was pleased to relate to him that one of his employees is on our board and doing a fine job, asking more questions than I can think of, and contributing nicely. So he nodded at that and was very pleased. And we got to keep you on the Durbin front with us. I told him you were going to keep me out of trouble with making sure that we don't leave any money on the table. I like saying that.
Amen to that.
He liked that comment. So anyway, with that, lot going on. We're going to speak a little bit later with the railroad initiative that's coming up, and on the manager's opportunity. So moved by unanimous vote, items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Good motion is second. What were the two?
Those are items 7A1, 7A3, 7A4, and 7A6.
Okay, so 2 and 5.
2 and 5 are not included.
Okay, 7A2, move to pass ordinance amending the service charge and the temporary water service rate.
No, they haven't taken a vote yet.
We need to
Yes.
get a motion.
You have a motion and a second to approve the consent.
Items on the consent agenda. We have a motion?
We did, and we have a
You
second.
have a motion and a second, you need to take a roll call.
Okay, Madam Clerk?
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Biancoli?
Yes.
Trustee Pergy?
Yes.
Trustee Husani? Yes. Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Very
Motion
good.
passes.
Thank you. 7A2, move to pass ordinance amending service charge and temporary water service rate.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion?
Yes. I have a couple questions. Okay, so on the memo, it states that we are now also changing our temporary water service fee from $20 to $50. Remy, would you be able to talk a little bit more about that fee, that amount, and how
Sure.
it came about?
The temporary service charge is actually for the houses that is vacant and they're on shut off. And for some reason, if the construction company comes and they wanted the water to be turned on, or a realtor will actually gonna show the house for, to show, then they have to request that the water need to be turned on. So right now, based on the ordinance is $20, but our current rate right now for turn on and turn off is $50. So I'm just kind of like, bringing that back, bringing that $20 to up to date of $50. This should be adjusted in 2016, but for some reason we missed it. So right now I'm bringing it up so that we can all be the same rate for the turn on.
Okay, so the $50 turn off, turn on fee that we currently have, that's for intentional shut-offs, right, due to
Right.
non-payment?
Right.
But this charge is only for vacant homes?
Right, this is only for vacant home that they want to turn the water on because they want to show it up like a realtor. They want to, sell the property. So, but they only have 10 days to do this. So the water will be turned on. This is a temporary turn on.
Right, because people that are looking at the homes, they're gonna wanna flush the toilets, run the sinks, run the bathroom shower, make sure everything's working.
Okay. So when you say they only have 10 days to do this, that
They
means that
have-
it'll only stay on for 10 days? Or
It
what?
will be stay on for 10 days, and after 10 days, we will shut the water off, and then whatever water that they use, they have to pay.
Okay. So realtors would be paying this fee and,
The owner of the property will pay for this fee.
okay. Thank you for explaining that.
No problem.
My second question is, based off of the previous conversation that we had during the workshop, are all parts of this amendment to our water ordinance still accurate?
Maybe I can answer that. So, the way that the ordinance is currently drafted is how it existed before the discussion took place in the workshop session. And so I did try and draft in longhand an amendment that I believe reflects what you all sort of discussed and apparently came to some meeting of the mind on. And I can read that motion. It's kind of long, but I can read it, and then you can all see whether or not that's what you're interested in doing. And if it is, that someone can move it, and if not, then
Then next meeting?
whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you want me to do that, or do you want to have more discussion, or what do you?
I think, and I guess this is just my
Maybe
personal.
maybe I should ask Rod, you know.
It would be my preference that, given our previous meeting, workshop, that you read what we all believe we agreed upon, and
Okay.
then we can discuss if somebody wants to
And
make
if you
that.
got your ordinance there, and you want to look at it while I'm doing this, and if you got a pen, you might want to pen in what I'm going to read, if you can. And when I'm done, I'll read it myself as to how I think it ends up.
So, and thank you, Bernie. Is this something that we have done in the past? Is this normal to have an amendment, read the change? Couldn't we so that's one option, but couldn't we also wait until it's typed out so we can all
Yeah, it's
I'll
all up to the
review it.
board, however they want to do it.
I'm just trying to clarify.
Well, if we do that, it won't be at tonight's meeting, and I thought there was a sense of urgency to get this behind us this evening, and if there's not that urgency, then we can take our workshop data, have typed in, and table this till the next meeting in January 20th.
So that's an option as well.
That's an option.
Okay.
So,
I-
right now, Bernie's gonna read it, so that we can have some discussion, and if we decide that we need till January 20th to push it off. Personally, I won't be here January 20th. I'll be in DC, and Herb will be in charge. So, just for reference,
Okay,
okay?
okay.
All right. Bernie, go ahead.
Yeah, so it might be helpful to have that ordinance in front of you. This is the ordinance that is entitled Ordinance Amending the Service Charge and the Temporary Water Service Rate. It is not the memo that precedes it, it's the actual ordinance. So this would be the motion. It's kind of convoluted, but this is how I've done it. Motion to amend subparagraph 2 and 4 of paragraph B of section 10633 as found in section 1 of the ordinance by adding
Right here.
actually by modifying 2 of B by adding at its end a comma instead of the period, together with the additional language, quote, or is certified as low income by a uniform criteria by the township that serves the unit, period.
Okay?
And modifying the last 2 words at the end of the second line of 4. Of B to read with a reduced. And in the third line of 4 of B, between the word charge and the word so, adding of $6.25 for each 1 month billing period. So that would be the motion. I can tell you how that would read if you looked at your ordinance. 2 would read, 2 of B, is on page 1, section 1 of the ordinance. It would say occupied as the sole and exclusive residence by a customer who or whose spouse is enrolled in the benefit access program or is 65 years of age or older, comma, or is certified as low income by a uniform criteria by the township that serves the unit. Also, the amendment would change 4 of B as found in section 1. This is section 10633 of the code, which would read as follows. The current rate as provided in subsection A above per 1,000 gallons of water for each 1 month billing period with a reduced service charge of $6.25 for each 1 month billing period, so long as such unit complies with the regulations in this subsection B.
Is there a motion to,
So moved.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Discussion on the amendment?
I just have one question. So would the disabled fall under a benefit access program? Okay.
Yes, that was my same question. They would, so you could be a 16-year-old. There's just that, to be qualified for the benefit access program, the person has to live in the same residence last year and this year, up to the time that they file for the benefits, and it has to be a person for whom you or your spouse provide more than half of that person's total financial support, and who's not filing a separate benefit access application. So basically, as a child or someone that you're taking care of, it could be an elderly parent, etc. So those would fall under the qualified resident under the benefit access program. So when our ordinance says spouse, it's by a customer or who it's not, or whose spouse is enrolled, it's really, or who's certified, or who's, I should say, qualified resident, whose qualified additional resident is enrolled in the benefit access program. It's not just the spouse, so it could be anybody.
Who resides at that residence?
Yeah, that has been living there for last year and this year, and who you provide more than half of the financial support, like a child or grandma, auntie, usually family. That's the only thing that I would think I would change instead of saying spouse.
Okay.
Did I answer your question, Jim? Trustee Kemper? Yeah? Okay.
I thank you, Bernie, for your reading out this ordinance. My note-taking leaves a lot to be desired when we're dealing with these kind of technical things. I would prefer that if we had this formally presented, typed and written with all of the suggested changes, I think it's too important an issue to move forward without having it actually spelled out in formal detail, rather than relying on, again, my ability to capture the salient points in my notes. Others may not share that opinion, but that's my personal opinion on that. I would like to. So in saying so, I'm thinking moving to the 20th when we have a full presentation of this ordinance in its final formation would be my preference.
Juliana, did you have a comment?
So I agree that what Bernie has read is what was discussed in the workshop and reflects the discussion of the board. And just by moving it to January 20th, you will not have the revenue for a whole month from that has been reflected in the budget to the water fund of that increase for all the homes, and I don't know what that equates to.
Like around $75,000.
$75,000 worth of revenue will be for, that's.
Well, based on our discussions, because we changed the categories for how we're going to apply the rate, the projections for revenues are going to be off anyway if we have included some other subcategories for people who will be charged at a different rate than what we entered this room thinking.
Well, not currently.
I think what I'm trying to say is that even though we budgeted for this increase for this in the budget and the expenditures are, it's a balanced budget, if you don't take action this evening on some ordinance, you will not have revenue for the billing month of January. If you don't approve it to January 20th, it would be then for the next billing period. We won't be able to go backwards and capture the January billing period for that increase. So what Remy is saying is that equates to $75,000 in revenue that you will not collect in the month of January.
So, I would like, if that's what you want to do, I think we need to take a vote on the amendment as read by the counselor.
I think we've been talking about this issue since October. I would just like to get it right. I was also trying to write while Bernie was speaking, and I was trying to follow along. I was lost in the beginning. We've spent months talking about this issue. I really would like to see it in print.
We need to take a vote so that we capture that, so when it does get reprinted, it's all captured. And there was a suggestion by Trustee Gutierrez to broaden the spouse component. And if that's to be included, we need to take a vote on what we're suggesting right now.
So how do we?
Was there a second motion to change the language as suggested by Trustee Pancoli, or Trustee Gutierrez?
I'm sorry.
Instead, you changed the spouse to
Well,
a broader terminology?
so I would like a clarification, because while I agree with what Bernie's amendment was, it kept the language as it currently is, which is the resident or their spouse meets those requirements. So I guess I would ask Remy, if a family lived in the house that had a 16-year-old or older child who is disabled that met the benefit access program, would they get the benefit based on the language in the ordinance? Because the ordinance just says the resident or their spouse meets the benefit access program. We don't have anybody
We don't
right
have
now that
anybody right now, but we're just basing it based on what the ordinance stated. So it's just either the owner of the property or the spouse or the.
So, in reality, let's say that I am one, and I come in and I have a child like that, and I go and apply at the township for the benefit access program, and I get it. And I come and I bring you the letter, you would automatically give me that reduced fee?
No, we would not, but the benefit access program for that child would help them in other ways through the township, but it wouldn't result in a reduction of the water bill for that household.
So it's only for the person whose name is on the water bill.
Or
not
their
the
spouse,
family member.
or their spouse.
All right,
So I go back to without that, what Bernie read was what the discussion reflected at the workshop.
let's capture that, and then we can decide if we want to move this on to January. Do we have a motion to?
You have a motion, you have a second.
Oh, we do, okay. Then,
So the issue that's before you, if I understand it correctly, is the amendment to the motion to pass the ordinance. And so the amendment is what I read.
okay, and we had a motion and a second. We've had discussion, and,
Did we have
So-
a motion, I mean, a motion on the amendment that he read, or did he just read that? Did we?
no, we had a motion
In
on
a
that.
second?
We had a
Well,
motion.
why don't we,
We
why
have
don't
a
we ask,
motion to
why don't we
amend.
ask Tish? Was there a person who made a motion to pass the ordinance?
Yes.
Trustee Cupper, seconded by trustee Priggy.
Was there a motion to make an amendment?
There's, that's what we're on right now, is the motion to amend.
And who made the motion and who seconded it?
No one did.
No one has.
There's been no.
And who made the motion and who seconded it?
Trustee Cupper and trustee Priggy seconded.
To amend?
No,
Not for amending.
Doesn't make any.
Bernie, are you talking about in relation to what trustee
So
Gutierrez?
this item came up on the agenda
Right,
for consideration by the village board.
right.
When it came up for consideration, did someone make a motion to pass the ordinance?
Yes,
Who made the motion?
I made the motion.
That's what I'm asking Tish.
Right.
Yes,
You're right.
trustee
And who
Cupper.
made a motion to second that? Who made the
Priggy.
second?
Trustee Priggy.
All right. Following that, was there another motion made?
To amend it? No.
To
The mo-
amend
the
it.
motion
We
that
need
at
to
the-
have a motion to amend.
So.
Was some,
a- a-
I'm
a-
No,
asking-
there
the-
was
so you're saying.
Wait,
no one made a
there was
motion?
there was a motion made on the amendment as read.
No,
The change, yeah.
no, I don't think so.
You read it, I motioned, trustee Priggy seconded.
There haven't been two motions, there was one motion.
You
Yeah,
was
so
one.
it requires two
You
motions.
did the first one,
Yeah.
but we need a
We
second.
need a motion to amend.
All right, so
I think you.
I'll motion to amend
Second.
as read.
Right, I think that's
So
what we
trustee
done before.
Cupper, are you motioning to amend?
No, you have to ask someone to make the motion to amend it. That's really what's necessary. If someone's going to amend it, someone has to make a motion to amend in accordance with what I read.
Right.
Bernie-
that's what I
Bernie
just
read
said,
the
as
amendment.
read
I
by-
thought somebody did that.
I thought we did it.
So I just
So you
did,
could read it.
You don't
Okay,
think
so you
Okay.
moved to amend.
right.
So if there's no motion to amend it,
We have
then
one.
you've got the main motion only.
We
So
have a
the
motion to amend,
We just need a second.
I second.
Second.
and we have a second from trustee Bancole. So we're good. Take a vote, please.
And you're voting on the motion to amend.
To amend.
Yeah, as you read.
Mhm.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Yeah, it's-
Trust-
so we're voting on what Bernie just read.
Right, that's what the motion is.
The amendment.
I just want to be clear.
there's no way I mean, can we read it again?
We're
Yeah,
voting to,
Yes, the answer is yes. I could read it again.
and
I will.
Bernie, in layman's terms, real quick, we're voting to say 625 for benefit access, low income, certified by the townships, everybody else 1875, correct?
Well, I can read the motion,
Yes.
or I can read
Thank
the
you.
result of the motion. Or I can read both again. Whichever you want me to do, I'll do
I
whatever you
think
want.
result of the motion would be easier to understand
Okay.
was.
than
It was.
reading
All right,
itself, so.
so it would read, and this would be found on the first page, section 1 of the ordinance. The section is 106-33. These are found in little subparagraph B. The subparagraph begins with the rate for each separate residential unit, which is, and the two amendments are found in little 2 and little 4. Little 2 would read as follows, if you adopt the amendment. Occupied as the sole and exclusive residence by a customer who or whose spouse is enrolled in the benefit access program or is 65 years of age or older, comma, or is certified as low income by a uniform criteria by the township that serves the unit. In 4 of B, it would read, the current rate as provided in subsection A above per 1,000 gallons of water for each 1 month billing period with a reduced service charge of $6.25 for each 1 month billing period, so long as such unit complies with the regulations in this subparagraph B.
Amendment has been read. Discussion?
Thank you, Bernie. So we have 65 in there, we have low income certified by the township. What about disabled?
It's in there.
Part of the benefit
Where?
Benefit
access program.
Oh. And, I'm sorry, could you read 4 one more time?
Sure. The current rate as provided in subsection A above per 1,000 gallons of water for each month billing period with a reduced,
Each 1 month billing period?
for each 1 month billing period. That's actually what's printed in the ordinance already.
Yes, but you skipped the one.
Oh, I did?
Yes.
I'll start over again. The current rate as provided in subsection A above per 1,000 gallons of water for each 1 month billing period with a reduced service charge of $6.25 for each 1 month billing period, so long as such unit complies with the regulations in this subsection B.
Very good.
Okay.
Discussion?
So we don't have to specify, so this,
With
so,
the low income provision.
Well, it's already in there.
It was added to number 2.
It's added to 2 where it says enrolled in the benefit access program or is 65 years of age or older, comma, or has been certified as low income by one of the townships which serves the unit.
okay.
Okay,
Is that right?
Yes.
I memorized that.
right.
So we don't have to state that, we
It's
just have,
stated in 2, we don't need to state it before.
no,
For disabled, we don't because they'll fall under the benefit access program. Seniors will fall under the benefit access program. The only ones that won't are low-income, everyday folk.
so thank you, Bernie. Thanks for reading it
You're
again. if we pass this tonight, is there a way we can see it all typed out, written again? And if we have made some type of mistake, I don't think we have, but if we have,
We can
Can
table
we-
it.
Nope.
If we pass it?
No,
We can-
not table it.
No?
We can
No,
amend.
we can always,
All right, so then we pass it.
Trustee Vancola, if you find an error in here, we can request that it be brought up back in the agenda with 3 trustees or by the request of the mayor. So we can.
right, but we.
and then make the correction to what the mistake was.
Okay,
And I understand where you're coming from, because I want to zero this out. And in all honesty, if we find that this is very small, I will request that that happens then, if the effect is not that large.
So,
Plan is to put this behind us,
Yes, let's
so we can evaluate it here. Okay, so with that, we'll call the roll. Madam Clerk?
my hands are tied.
so this is on the motion to amend?
Yes.
Call you last. Trustee Kemper?
Yes?
Trustee Priggy?
Yes.
Trustee Husani?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole? Trustee Bancole?
I don't, I'm sorry,
She votes no.
can I,
You can abstain.
Didn't she say no?
Oh, are you abstaining?
what do you, is there a way I could look at the ordinance? Can I look at your writing? Can I?
Yeah. But my writing is really bad. That's all that.
And Trustee Bancole, I helped write that in the,
I understand,
In
but
that little room.
it just feels rushed, you know.
I
it
understand.
just- Thank
I
you.
understand.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I don't. Is this it? Can I read the ordinance as well?
That is the ordinance, wasn't it?
and then she's looking for the amended ordinance.
So, this is the ordinance. He made changes, this is under the code of 106-3. He made this,
So,
took away the semicolon, then a comma, or is certified, so.
we're halfway through our vote.
What is this word? Criteria, unit.
President of
Services the unit? By a township that services, the unit is a household.
Period with reduced service charge. Okay, so we can
Of
put on.
625, remember, as long as the unit complies with the regulations in this subsection B, this is B. So long as such unit complies with arts regulations in this subsection B.
Okay.
So, if I may, trustee, Bancole, it basically, the consensus from the workshop to making those 3 categories of people, doing the 625, everybody remaining at 18, is basically all the changes that he's doing, is just amending the original ordinance if you didn't have that was reached in the workshop here.
Okay, thank you. And I understand that. It's just to not see it in writing on such an important issue, it's I guess frustrating. And I just don't wanna make a mistake, you know? So anyways, thank you.
You're welcome. Bernie, I'll keep this for a minute.
No.
I'll make a copy and return it to you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think what you're gonna want is the motion, not the,
Okay.
Okay, very good.
Finish
We're
the roll.
Work in the middle.
halfway through the vote. Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
I don't know who's next.
Trustee Bancole, would be trustee Kemper.
You already got me. I was the first one.
Oh, no, trustee Porter, I'm sorry. Leaving where we left off.
I'm having some of the same difficulties that trustee Bancole had. I will vote yes, but I will reserve the right to do a full review and inspection of this ordinance once it's formally printed and presented to the board, to note any changes or any misrepresentations that may have inadvertently occurred during this session.
Thank you. Next.
And just to clarify, thank you. And just to clarify, you know, if we have made some type of mistake and one of our residents that is supposed to receive this reduced charge gets a full charge, I just want to ensure that there is a way to retroactive that and provide them with whatever monies that we may have mistakenly taken from them due to the fact that we do not have this amended ordinance in front of us. I just want to be
I
crystal
think we take
clear.
pride in doing that if we make a mistake.
But just specifically for this, you know.
Yeah, you can restate that. I mean, that's fine. We're okay with that.
And I'm glad we passed the vote and we're beyond the vote. I just want to add that this is all contingent on us getting the different townships to support doing this. So we're adapting this ordinance and putting this all together with no assurance that the townships will be able to support this and to, you know, be able to enforce these changes that we're making. And that's my issue with
But it's really
pushing through
nothing
this,
there are two
shoving
rates,
it through with
Kenny.
this now. And
Another
what if we
box check
meet
box.
objection from the townships and they renege on that, or they object to the extra workload that they're
Right.
getting? Then where are we with this ordinance?
And that's why I feel that we will bring it back up, because we also still have to talk about the water cutoffs. So this is, I don't think we're done with this. It'll be revisited. Like you said, it's contingent on the townships, and I do feel that they will work with us. But if not, then we have to seek a way for our staff to somehow do this, so that we can truly be
But-
equitable.
And that makes
So
sense,
just-
but I,
Before you go on, so procedurally here,
Yes.
you've had a motion to amend. I'm assuming it passed. Did it pass?
Motion to amend passed, yes.
Okay, because I didn't hear that being announced. And so now you're back to the main motion to pass it.
Pass it.
And so that's what you're having a discussion on now, is whether you should
The
pass
main
it
motion
or
as
not.
amended.
Right, that's what's actually in front of you right now, the
Okay.
main motion to pass.
And I hear the
But we're-
concerns,
but
and
we're-
we always have the opportunity to redress those and to see this in writing. Is there we have a motion, the main motion,
The main motion we already
As
have,
amended.
so we just need to vote on it.
but before we go forward, there needs to be some type of, and to piggyback off of what trustee Porter said, he's correct. We haven't talked to the townships about this. We think that they're going to agree with it, but they have every right not to agree with this, and so,
Right, and if
We're-
they don't, then we need to revisit it.
right, but we are already going to start charging them in January without that assurance, right?
Well, the people
And
that
that's
are,
why I'm
the people
asking-
that are already on the programs are already gonna receive the discount.
But that's
Gonna
why
get
I'm
625.
asking,
We're talking about new applicants,
Townships already-
and they haven't applied yet, so.
I'm sorry, what's your
we're
question,
talking,
Jess?
we're talking,
Trustee Bancole, I don't understand.
I just want to assure that if for some reason this changes, right? Like if we've passed it a certain way, but if for some reason we've made a mistake, the townships don't want to take part in this, that we will make sure that our residents retroactively receive the monies that we charge them. Because essentially because if we're charging them this fee and we don't pass the exemptions, then our ordinance is essentially incorrect.
So when does this ordinance go into effect?
January 1.
And so
So-
what has to happen is that the townships, if they're using paper applications, they've got to reprint all their applications to include this provision for Hannibal Park, solely for Hannibal Park. They've got to reprint that. They've got to go in and reprogram. If they're using software programs, they've got to go in and add this to the software application or to the online application. Someone has to sit down and program and put in the additional information to allow this application to go through with this extra benefit and this extra provision. That is something that they certainly won't be able to do by January 1st. And so we're going to have,
Right,
Joe, just a minute, Trustee Kemper, let me finish. So that is certainly something that, you know, we have to consider, because if they can't get this in place and ready to enact it and ready to carry this out, then we're passing this ordinance, we're going to put through rate increases, we're going to do all of this, and it may come back on us because the township say, who's going to fund us reprinting all of these applications? Who's going to pay for us having to redo the online application? Where is that going to come from? And if that comes back on us, are we then going to have to come back and do something else to make this all fit?
That's what I'm trying to say.
We
Right.
may,
That's
And-
what
and-
I'm trying to
and-
say.
and-
if we don't
But-
pass it, the township would never even consider that.
Right, but the other thing is, the people that are already receiving the benefit that we have of not paying the $12.50, that are gonna be paying the $6.25, are already part of the program that we have in our system. The seniors, the disabled. Currently, we don't have anything for those who are lower income that might fall into this category. But they would be applying, they wouldn't be able to, they would be able to apply in the month of January if they applied, if there are any that are going to apply. We're putting the option out there, and again, we need to pass this to get.
It's not our residents' fault that we pushed this
Right.
to the end of the year, to the last possible minute, and trying to
do
get this
agree.
done when we've been having this discussion for
Right.
6 months. So, you know, now we're under the gun, and we gotta pass this because of the budget and having a balanced budget and the revenue that's been projected. But I don't think that the hardship should be passed on to our residents, because for whatever reason, we find ourselves in the 12th hour trying to fix this thing and to make this work.
I have to agree, and I just want to explore all our options. I understand that we are trying to get this up and running by January 1st. Is there a possibility that we could have another workshop set in place before the end of the year so that we can iron this out? There is no possibility.
Is there, so for me, it was that we wanted to start right away helping our low income. That was what I wanted. I wanted to zero it out, to start right away in the new year. You get this benefit, just apply for it. Get over there and apply it. As soon as you apply and get certified, it becomes effective. But what you're saying is, if the townships say no, which I do believe they will agree to it, then that we have to find a way to go back and say, okay, we've got to run this ourselves
Yeah, they may not say no, but they may say, we can't do this
right now.
right now to make it effective for January 1st. They may say we need 60 days in order to.
So would the
make these
benefit be
changes.
to say, hey, let's move this on till February or January 20th? Would that be better then? Or would it be a
Oh,
benefit
we've
to
already
say,
discussed
let's
the
do
amount of
this
revenue
now? I'm
that's
sorry, so
going
let's
to
just say, let's do this now so that our low income can now have a,
And I'm saying we have 2 weeks until the end of the year. Can we at least have a conversation with the townships to see if it's, I mean,
Yeah,
even something that's
we
workable?
will absolutely between now and the end of the year, have a conversation with the townships and begin to put this program in place and the steps that are there for the individuals to to apply for them. That would be the next step. Once the board approves this, then we will go and meet with the 4 townships and figure out what best way to add this to their system.
And we can't do that unless we do this.
But I think we are putting the cart before the horse. Right, we're passing.
Well, you have to remember, there's, it can always be revisited. It can, 3 trustees could call or revisit to the ordinance and relook at the ordinance at another time.
All right, I'd like to call the question.
Thank you.
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Pregame?
Yes.
Trustee Gisani?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Can we be last?
Trustee Porter?
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
I didn't. We have everybody's vote?
Not yet.
No, yeah, we're waiting.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Motion passes as amended.
Very good. Thank you. If we didn't care, we wouldn't be doing this.
Right.
December, whatever. Thank you. 785 was the next one. Move to pass an ordinance amending the Hanover Park Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance, amending permitted uses concerning parking structures and parking lots. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion.
I just had one question. I was just trying to figure out what so the definition of a parking structure, it talks about a parking lots and parking structure. I was just trying to figure out what exactly a structure is. I'm sorry.
So this amendment was just that when we made the amendment back in January, a section was missed to be modified to reflect what the Development Commission and the board wishes were. So both those would reflect that the parking structure or parking lot would need to be publicly owned.
Okay, that makes sense, but I think what I'm asking for is just an example of, it references parking structure. It doesn't actually specify what.
So for
these are
example,
parking
the village just built the parking lot off of Ontarioville. So that would be a publicly owned parking lot. A parking structure might be one that we build in the future, like a parking garage.
So that's how we're defining parking structure in this specific.
Well, I do want to, essentially, those are the
Right.
2 types of parking areas we have. Either it's a parking lot or parking structure. We don't have any publicly owned parking structures currently.
So this is for the future.
Yeah.
This.
But the amendment is to confine it to publicly owned.
Okay, so as it stands, we have no parking structures within the village. However, we have parking lots, and this amendment will impact those forthcoming parking structures. Because I guess it's not clear what we as a village are defining as a parking structure. I read through the notes, I read through the January 21st notes, that's referenced in the memo.
So a parking structure would be anything than a surface parking lot. So it would be a parking garage. A lot of downtown.
But you said we don't have any within the village as it stands.
We don't
Right.
currently have any publicly owned parking structures in the village currently.
Okay, so as it stands right now, this would only apply to parking lots within the village and any forthcoming parking structures.
Sure, yeah.
Is that
And-
correct? Okay.
Yes.
And it would only allow the village to erect a parking structure, not a privately owned company.
Well,
As a permitted use,
as a permitted use, the others would have to be a special use.
Yeah.
accessory.
Accessory use. It would have, that structure would have to be accessory to a
principal business. It couldn't be standalone, privately owned parking structure.
Okay, thank you.
We have a motion and a second. We've had discussion. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Priggy?
Yes.
Trustee Husani?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 789, move to approve warrant 12/16/2021
Wait a
in
minute.
the amount.
you're
No,
787.
787.
Right here.
Isn't that what I
Or
just
no.
read?
No.
This one up here.
Oh. I reserve the right to read whatever line I like. Beg your forgiveness. 787, move to pass an ordinance amending the base salary plan of the Village of Hanover Park.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion?
Yeah, one question. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble finding it. So is this a change to this is about the HR?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Is this a change to the name, or is this a change to the salary, or is it both?
It's a new position, right?
It-
Change to the name of the position, but not the salary. It's still at grade 4. We're replacing the part-time human resources administrative clerk to a full-time human resources analyst, which is to match the budget.
Okay. So do we want to, thank you, Barry. So do we, unless I'm wrong, this ordinance just states that it's amending the base salary plan.
The whole thing is the plan. So that would be the amendment. If you look from the previous one to this one, that's the only change.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Husani?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
And Trustee Priggy?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 788, move to pass an ordinance authorizing the Fourth Amendment to the FY 2021 budget of the Village of Hanover Park in the amount of $300,000 to the commuter parking lot from the general fund to pay for necessary operating expenses of the commuter parking lot. 2/3 vote of the corporate authorities is needed. We have a
So
motion.
moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion?
Yes, one question. A couple of months ago, Trustee Porter mentioned that we could, when we were going through our budget process, Remy mentioned that we haven't had any individuals buying parking passes, that were losing revenue, and now here it is on the agenda that we are essentially upfronting costs for this parking lot that we're losing money for. So I know Trustee Porter mentioned that we could maybe introduce flexible passes. They don't have to pay for a month up front. They can maybe do a week, 2 weeks. And I believe he mentioned that back in October. Have we had a
So-
chance to?
Yeah, we did
Look
look
into that.
into it. The rate that an individual pays on a monthly pass is the same as a daily rate. So that there is no difference in the amount of the rate. So you don't get a discount for a monthly rate. You get the convenience of getting a monthly pass. So the only benefit that you get, other than the convenience, is that you get to park in a different location in the parking lot. But currently, there's so many parking spaces in the parking lot that you can park because no one's, riding the train, that, so that's where we're at right now. So I know we talked about, when it was brought up, it was my understanding that I thought, well, maybe they get a discount for that monthly, but it's the same rate. So somebody who normally was going downtown every day who would get a monthly pass, but is no longer doing that, or for the next couple months is riding like every other day or once a week or whatever, then our recommendation would be that they just get the daily pass that day that they're riding the train.
Okay. So then I guess my next question is can we look into a discount? Because are we still, Remy, do you know, are we still at 0?
Oh, this is the reason that we are having this thing, because we are underwater with the commuter lot fund. I would not recommend a discount at this time because we cannot even, pay the bills in the commuter lot fund that we have right now. We are having to support it with the general fund.
Is it a possibility that we could, just like they do for the train tickets, and they sell a 10 ride and they sell different iterations of passes, could we maybe attract more parking, more vehicles to park if we matched what's going on with the metro system? So maybe monthly passes aren't what's needed now in view of the business climate that we're in, but maybe a 10-day pass or a 2-week pass or something else that would motivate and incentivize a person to, if they're working a hybrid schedule where they're partly in the office and they're partly at home, and maybe they're only doing a certain amount of days downtown. So they're doing daily parking, but they would still like the convenience. Maybe they were formerly monthly pass holders, but that doesn't fit their situation anymore. Maybe it would better fit their particular situation if they were able to buy a 10-week pass or something and be able to park over there in the unused section where there are plenty of parking spaces right close to the gate instead of the daily parking, which if you don't get there at a certain time of the day, you're parking by the police station. Maybe not so much now.
I don't think we have
Maybe
that
not so
many
much
people
now
right
because
now.
of that.
Yeah.
But there still might be people who want the convenience of parking in that other lot.
Our
I'm
system.
just kind of throwing
yeah.
this out.
Our system isn't structured that way right now.
Right,
I
'cause,
don't
I mean,
see,
how would
other
you-
than where you're
How would
parking.
you be able to monitor, because if somebody's not there every day of the week, how are you gonna monitor that?
The other thing is that right now Metra, I believe it's Metra, where ours don't expire. You buy a monthly pass. Now Metras, I believe, are expiring in a much shorter period of time. You could hold on to that 10 ticket forever.
Metro is almost selling no monthly passes. The 10 ride pass expires after 30 days or something. And that's not attractive to folks anymore.
Right,
So we've
because
gone
then you
to
don't really have that
a
flexibility.
fixed daily rate until, ridership increases. Ridership has not been increasing. It's been hovering around 30%.
There's an
Do it on the app.
Yeah,
The
there's
app
an
is-
app.
Pardon me?
We have an app.
Yeah,
An app. It's not like you have to get out of your car and go get the daily rate and then come back to your car. It's on it's on an app on the phone.
The convenience is
But just
there.
about every community is experiencing what we're experiencing. Their enterprise fund, their fund to support their parking lots is in jeopardy. And the mayor's caucus has been addressing it with Dave Bennett, with all the municipalities and with Metra. But Metra is suffering just because the ridership's so low. So,
But then maybe we should open up the full parking lot for the daily parkers and not even have the monthly section. If no one's buying it, no one's buying the monthly passes.
nobody's
no
buying
one's-
monthly passes.
and no one's,
Yeah, can you explain?
no one's doing that, so maybe we should just open up the lot.
I
and
think we
make-
have,
Well,
didn't we?
make the
and
daily
just-
Well, let me
parking.
talk about,
And just to go off of that, I think that, we're now in this, we're in a pandemic, but it's now an era, a COVID era, and I would hope that maybe in 2022, we could look at, I guess, adapting to the current work trends so that we can at least have some revenue coming in, because this 300,000, it's a lot, and I understand that right now we have this month system, but if we could just explore different days or different systems so that we can have something coming in, I think it
guess
would
I
be
don't-
very beneficial.
Yeah, I guess when we looked at it, we didn't see that we would get any additional revenue off, if we had of a 10
Right, because if
punch
you're not
kit.
getting the increase.
You're
coupon
gonna
is
get it
no
on a
incentive.
daily rate. I don't think it's gonna affect whether people are riding the train or not, and there isn't a difference in that rate for the day.
The only thing that's working for Metro right now is the daily rate.
And TJ, can you talk about, it's really not that much difference of a walk for the
No.
daily rate?
no, we have moved, because we've shut lots down. We've moved dailies much closer to the lots, to the station itself and to the platform. So there isn't a disparity, if you will, or a wide distance difference between incentivizing, say, monthlies and the dailies. So it's very similar now. And we're at, even with the reduced number of total spaces available, we're still at significantly less than 50% on our dailies, because we're monitoring that, I mean, almost on a daily basis. We're trying to keep an eye out, because we're always concerned that if we do start filling up, we can very quickly reopen lots and make sure that there's always availability. And that's what we're seeing right now, is we're actually a little under 50% on our dailies, and at very low on our monthlies and others.
Juliana, so is staff looking at ways to work with that so that we're not continuing
Just
to?
at 0?
I'm sorry?
No, I said just at 0. Fine. Sorry, I was completing your sentence. Finding ways to work with that, so
Well,
that we're just not in.
I mean, we're hoping that,
Yeah,
you know,
sorry.
ridership goes up. I mean, if it doesn't, we're gonna have a much bigger discussion about how we're going to fund these expenses. Right now, because of this last year, we're under, and we're gonna transfer, it's gonna be a loan from the general fund. We've done that before, not necessarily, you know, to different funds for different reasons. And then we have a mechanism that it's paid off when that fund starts generating revenue again. So, they're kind of different buckets of money and we have, so basically the general fund is loaning money to the commuter enterprise fund, $300,000, and we'll pay, with the expectation that the commuter lot fund will pay it back. If that doesn't look like that's gonna happen in the future, and we continue to not get enough revenue, we're gonna have to look at the expenses that are charged to that account and that fund, and maybe make some adjustments permanently. But right now, we are hopeful that in January and February, people will start traveling more downtown, and offices will start to open up, and we'll see that ridership increase.
Well, CDC is projecting that we're gonna have instead of a return to normalcy, we're gonna be returning back to a situation of where we were back in the summer even, where, you know, COVID is once again rearing its head. So I don't think that we can realistically expect that ridership and businesses are gonna be returning to normal, whatever, you know, and I think we gotta adjust to this new normal, you know, that we're entering into. It's a tough situation, and I was just wondering, is there any money available in the rescue plan or anything like that that we can use to offset the losses that we have here?
No, and they wouldn't be applicable to this, this fund and the losses that are here. But we already allocated, all of our rescue money was spent for the water.
But there's another round that's coming out, and I'm just wondering.
Well, we'll have to look if the next round is eligible for these expenses. With COVID and the continuing changes, we're gonna have to continue to be flexible and make decisions as things change. Right now, we need to make sure that we bring this fund back to balance. So either we gotta borrow money from somewhere, we're recommending that we
I don't
borrow
think we
from the
disagree
general
with
fund.
what you're asking. We're just looking ahead and saying, will we have to, you know, continue to make these
To
steps?
think creatively, because this may not go away, yes.
Do we currently have residents that park in that parking lot overnight? Just to park
Typically.
We do.
overnight that we do not charge?
No, everyone is charged. We do have residents that will pay a daily fee
Okay.
for the convenience of parking there.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, you know, because as long as we're charging them,
Do we advertise that?
That anybody
can park there?
You can park there anytime you'd like if you pay the daily fee.
You don't have to
That's
drive
true of
overnight.
any parking lot,
24 hours.
anywhere,
I don't
whether
have to
you
get
get
on
on
the
the train
metro?
or not. And that's very widely known in the West Line apartment complexes, which
Okay,
is
good.
mostly where the people use that. It's very well known.
We're already looking at expenses, right? I believe I've seen last meeting that you have negotiated a contract where you're partially shutting down the parking lot, so you're negotiating with the snow removal to reduce what we already funded the contract with. So you're already working on reducing the
Yes.
expenses on that lot, right?
Trying, yes.
Yes, but many of our expenses aren't eligible to be reduced. So for example, our rental of the equipment that
pays the daily or the fees. That's something that's not a cost that is scalable. So we still have to pay the electricity and we have to keep the lights on in the lot regardless of whether it's full or empty. So many of our expenses just cannot be scaled up and down. They are what they are.
But we will continue to monitor the expenses.
At least that, I'm seeing that there's a consistency there, that you're looking at that and negotiating before it even comes to the board, and you're doing that, so just wanted to kind of highlight that.
Thank you.
Okay. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Prigi?
Yes.
Trustee Husani?
Yes.
President Craig?
Yes.
Motion passes.
7A9, move to approve warrant 12/16/2021 in the amount of $1,927,884.64.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions on the warrant? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Prigi?
Yes.
Trustee Husani?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 7A10, move to approve warrant paid in advance, 11/12/2021 to 12/10/2021 in the amount of $1,468,708.24.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions on the warrant? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Prigi?
Yes.
Trustee Husani? Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 7A11, move to approve October 2021 P cards in the amount of $14,409.83.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Yes, I'd like to ask a question about the P cards since we're at the end of the year. What has been the trend for those expenses for P cards with the reduction in some of our outreach or interactions? Because I'm assuming the P cards are the individual credit cards that our department heads and different people are using to conduct village business and so forth. So what has been the experience in terms of those amounts and how have they been trending? How did they trend for the year 2021?
I can look at that and bring that back to you. I don't know that off the top of my head.
I'd be curious to know if there's been a substantial increase, decrease, has it held steady in view of, like I said, the situation that we find ourselves in?
We can look at that.
Okay.
Very good.
Mayor, oh wait, have we approved that yet?
No,
No, not
We're
yet.
Okay,
we're taking,
go ahead.
Madam Clerk.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Prigi?
Yes.
Trustee Husani?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Mayor, I would request that we move to go into closed session, executive session. At this point, we have an Attorney Smith is here, and we have that conversation and then come back to the reports and the 3 items that I have on my agenda. Given the late hour that it's getting.
Okay, request to go to executive session for Section 2C2 collective bargaining.
So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Madam Clerk, call the roll. And we'll be returning.
Yes. Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Prigi?
Yes.
Trustee Husani?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. All right.
Trustee Husani?
Here.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Here.
Trustee Porter?
Here.
Trustee Kemper?
Here.
Trustee Bancole?
Here.
Trustee Prigi?
Here.
Juliana, you have
You
the
have a
floor
quorum.
in the emergency order.
The first item on my report is that I want to report out for the record that the emergency order that the village was under and had extended several times has expired. The board did not choose to extend it. So back in October, we had asked whether the board wished to extend it, and the board chose not to. So the village is no longer under any emergency orders. So we are back to business as usual, to the extent of the authorities provided by the Code of Ordinances. That being said, I just wanted to make one other comment. We made a change during the, at the beginning of the COVID crisis. We moved to closing Village Hall on Wednesdays. Staff is here, but we are closed to the public. And we also are no longer, at the time we're open at times on Thursday evenings, and we stopped doing that. The board passed a resolution to put that in place at the time, and it is our recommendation to continue that, those hours. We've tweaked it over the course of this last year. It's been a good trial period. It is working very well for the organization in terms of getting work done and the residents. We think that we're meeting the residents' needs, as well as being able to do be a lot more productive with that day of not being open and having either, that's the day we're scheduling any employee event, any training for employees. It's happening on Wednesdays, or collaborative meetings between departments. You can still, a resident can still schedule an appointment with community development, inspectional services, in the clerk's office. So we're taking those, it's just by appointment versus just a general walk-in.
So will we have any late hours here at the village?
No. Staffing is really difficult for late hours, given our staffing levels. So we have not seen any issues with the late hours, for sure.
Okay.
So,
Why was it 4:30, not 5?
it's always been 4:30. We start at 8, though. We don't, other communities might start at 8:30, we start at 8.
And then before we were closing on Wednesday because of, was it like a deep clean?
Right, I mean, that was kind of what we started. We knew that that there would be these other benefits, but we had not experienced them. And I'm gonna move this, can I move this? It's right
Oh.
being able to see. Yes, it afforded us the ability during COVID to do cleaning, midweek, deep cleaning, but, the benefits have definitely outweighed the, we've managed the other ways. And then since then, we've put in place further electronic payments, different ways to apply for permits. So we've moved to an electronic format for a lot of things that we didn't have before as well.
Can I ask a question?
Sorry, go ahead.
Can I ask a question? So today, somebody asked me about getting the ComEd energy efficient kit. And so we have those at POC, but we're only open till 3, so I sent them here. Because the person said that they got out of work at 5. So if they want that, they have to make an appointment?
No, any other day we're here and we're open. Today's Thursday. We would have been here too.
But they leave work at 5, they won't be here till 5:30.
Oh, we're not open any day.
Right, so if somebody wants one of those kits after hour, like.
No,
because-
we wouldn't even take an appointment after hours. We take appointments during those hours that employees are here on a Wednesday. I don't know, but for that, like, we could have some at the police department, or, so
Okay.
they're open 24 hours. I mean.
Because I thought I'd leave it outside our door, but I was like, someone's gonna take it, so, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess as a follow-up question, so we had those late night hours on what day before?
Thursdays.
Okay, until?
I don't remember.
7:30.
7:30.
Until 7:30? And those hours were generally used for?
They were here for people to get, like, this was prior to having so they'd come and pay their water bill or do, work at inspectional services before now we have building permit applications you can do online.
Okay.
What we found, the challenges there were, the staff did not feel comfortable at the counter being here in the late hour after everything was closed down. So then we were having to have a police officer come over and be here during those hours, and then we just didn't think that it was the efficient use of a police officer's time and for the number of walk-ins that we were having at that hour.
And so now this will be permanent, or this is,
My recommendation is that these are the hours that we go forward. At some time in the future, if we find a new program, or it's not working, or we want to revisit it, at any time the board could, or I may come to you and say, but operationally, this is what we would like to have the practice be right now.
okay, thank you.
Very good. Next.
Oh, and just along those emergency orders, so the emergency orders covered some liquor issues. So the ability to carry liquor, or get a drink when you're taking your carry-out food, those items are now covered by the state. The state made some changes, so that covers that, so we don't need to have that any longer. And the only other item that is not addressed yet that was under the executive or emergency order was outdoor dining. We will be addressing that between now and March, when outdoor dining permits might, I'm getting feedback, be starting to be applied for again.
Okay, thank you.
Monthly treasurer's report is in your packet for November. It's getting, it's towards the end of the year, so you're starting to see some of how the budget is coming together for the end of the year. As you know, until all of the bills filter through, it's usually March before we really have a true picture of how we ended the year. So Remy will report back on that in the next couple months. And then the third item I have, and the reason why it was important for us to be able to come back into open session, is that, and I'd like to read into the record. So Canadian Pacific Railway Limited is in a proposal process to acquire Kansas City Southern Rail Network. This potential acquisition would join the northern and southern U.S. into one system that reduces the number of train reconfigurations in rail yards. The potential impact on Hanover Park would result in approximately 6 to 8 additional freight trains traveling on the Milwaukee West line through the village per day. So we currently have 4, 8 more. We will have 12. I'm being told, this is per day, freight trains, and I am being told that if they're telling us 12, it's going to be many more than 12. The village has begun working with other affected municipalities to quantify the impact on residents and businesses. We have formed an informal coalition with the communities that are along the line. And on Monday, we filed a notice of intent to participate with the villages of Itasca, Bensonville, Wooddale, Roselle, Schaumburg, Bartlett, and the city of Elgin. That was due on Monday, so we filed that on Monday, the notice of intent to participate. The Surface Transportation Board is looking for input from residents and business owners who feel that they may be impacted by additional freight traffic. Canadian Pacific is currently in the scoping process and developing an environmental impact statement and holding online public scoping meetings. So we will, Friday, tomorrow, we will be filing our scope for our community as an individual. Christopher Burke Engineering is drafted the letter for us with the scoping issues. For us, as the Village of Hanover Park, we are less impacted. Some of the other towns along the rail line are impacted in terms of at-grade crossings, or they don't have a quiet zone. We don't have at-grade crossings. We do have some level of a quiet zone. We're evaluating whether that can be beefed up, but we will be looking for mitigation for our residents who live along the tracks in terms of soundproofing and various other safety issues that are coming about. We do not believe that at this time that we will be successful in stopping the merger, but we are going to work very strongly as a coalition to get the mitigation measures paid for to help with our sound and noise and environmental and pollution issues that this is going to cause. I will be bringing back to you an agreement, a memorandum of understanding, whatever we call it, to formalize our this coalition group of communities that are along the tracks and this line. Itasca has taken the lead to hire an attorney from Washington, D.C. To assist with the process, as well as we have been working with Christopher Burke. So the intent is that we will all share in the cost of one attorney and come across as a unifying voice. But I will be bringing, I don't have that, it hasn't been drafted yet, and we'll bring that to you as soon as I can, most likely for the January 20th meeting. I only have authority to spend up to $20,000, so I obviously can't go over that before all of you weigh in on an agreement. So
I can tell you, living 4 blocks up Center Avenue, those trains that come through at night are really loud, and they have awakened me a number of times with the traffic that's coming through there now. So I can only imagine.
I cannot imagine what it will be like to have 12, 18 freight trains coming through our town.
I live between 2 lines, so I get it from both sides.
Stereo.
The vibration, the pollution, all of that is just, it's definitely going to have an impact on our community. It's also definitely going to have an impact on the attraction of development along our tracks, you know, our downtown area, our events, all of those things are going to be. So we are taking this very seriously. Again, though, we don't have hope of stopping it, the merger, but we do believe we're going to try to fight as hard as we can for mitigation funds.
And did you say that they have they'll have something out there so that the public can?
Yes, so there is it's been on our website for about a week or week and a half with the information to go where you can voice, residents can voice their concern. And I think we sent out something via Facebook too.
Yeah, I think all the meetings for public input are done.
Yeah, you can still, I think tomorrow we will be on behalf. This is the beginning of the process. We want to make sure we get in early, but it appears that they're, at least right now, trying to fast track this. So we just want to make sure we're staying on top of it. Mayor, did you have anything to add? We are talking about evaluating whether we want to use Washington lobbyist as well, so.
Yes, and I did some research on that, and Dan Lipinski is available, and I suggested to the group that we jump on board with that, given his 8 terms as in Congress as the Transportation Subcommittee for Railroads. He's a key component in being able to cross all the boundaries, and he's very familiar working with the Safety Transportation Board, the STB, whose president I was on Metro Board with, Marty Oberman. So there's a strong advocacy for the Chicago area in both arenas, and I like to be optimistic that given the predominance of the leadership that's there, that they're going to really look at the EIS, the environmental impacts that we present. So.
And then also just, and I don't know if I haven't seen it yet, the Daily Herald has reached out to the communities along the line for, and I believe Mayor, you spoke with somebody
Eric Peterson
from the Daily Herald, so I haven't seen the article yet.
There was an article in, I think, today's paper, principally, Itasca and Schaumburg spoke to one of their stringers who's been with the paper for not quite a year. Eric's got a lifelong, I think he's been with the paper forever. It is an old good friend at Hanover Park, so.
Sorry for the bad news at this hour.
We'll get periodic updates.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
That's all I have, except for happy holidays and enjoy your families at the end of this year, and we look forward to coming back in January. And remember, we don't have that first meeting in January, and we will be back here on January 20th.
Most of you will be.
That's good.
We will. Oh, well, you won't be here.
It appears I will be at the U.S. Conference of Mayors in D.C. the week of, I don't know, 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever.
And Trustee Porter will be here?
Yes, he will sing the national anthem. I'll sing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh. Thank you. That's all I have.
I have all the confidence in the world. Trustee Porter will lead us diligently and in a fine manner. Okay. Village Clerk's report.
Yes, on behalf of Village Clerk Merrill, she would like to extend her thanks for all staff for a successful tree lighting event, with special thanks to Public Works, PD, and Fire. And she wants to remind everyone that the Deck the House voting is on right now. Please go see the homes and vote. And to let you know that the STARS program has restarted. Please take a moment to appreciate the children's art in the lobby.
Thank you.
Her first STARS event, and it came off beautifully. We haven't had a STARS event in quite a while.
Yeah, took place yesterday.
Very nice. Corporation Council report.
Just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Bernie.
Thank you.
Trustee reports. Trustee Husani?
Development Commission met twice last week, on Monday and Thursday. Monday was a workshop, talked about village center zoning, presentation done by our consultant, Leslie Oberholzer of Coda Metrics. It was a great presentation and a new concept and how the village center is going to look like. Of course, Development Commission looked at it and has some feedback, so they're going to go back and come back again with those feedback to work on. And also we had a regular Development Commission meeting, which a developer presented a concept plan. The developer is Synergy Construction. The concept plan is for the church and lake west of Starbucks. There is a farmland right now. So the concept was to bring 300 residential units. The Development Commission gave feedback, and they're going to come back in January end or so to talk about all the shortfalls. And that's it for my report. Happy holidays to everybody.
And maybe I can also that we have, because we're starting to see these larger, more complex developments going through the Development Commission. I hope everybody saw Shubra's note that you will be receiving those packets, copied on those development packets. So if you don't have to go, but we want to make sure that you are informed as it goes through those processes and not just hear about it for the first time when it comes before you.
Pretty exciting.
She'd be happy to answer any questions if you get that Development Commission or Trustee Hussaini as you move forward.
We talk a lot about parking. This is the ideal location. Across the street is Metro parking that has not been used so much. So maybe we could use we talked about parking again. We got stuck to the space and stuff like that. I think we have enough parking. for this development that's coming, but we still talked about it. So I think Development Commission is getting seasoned as well, and they know how to question and stuff like that. That is great. I'm seeing that difference, and everybody's asking question up front. So before it comes to the board, all those going to be weeded out already. So it's pretty exciting times, the developments that's coming in. You're right.
Thank you.
Very good.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
You're welcome.
So I'm excited because recently I was appointed to the Community Trust Committee for the Illinois Supreme Court, which will go hand in hand with the Metro Mayor's DEI and the Schaumburg Township DEI Committee. So I'm excited about that.
Wonderful.
I want to let you know that Partners for Our Communities here in Hanover Park is handing out the ComEd Energy Savings Kits for Hanover Park residents. And this will help, especially when we talk about water, as some of those have these heads that you add to the sinks that will reduce the cost of the water. And everybody keeps giving me candy canes. I want to say thank you to Lisa Mueller of Poplar Creek Library for securing some archival storage boxes for the Historic Committee. And thank you, Mayor, for helping me with those. The best seminar with the Economic Development Committee took place, and it went well. We're starting to see more and more of our own businesses coming to these things, because it was Bartlett taking advantage of it, Roselle. So our own. And we're currently interviewing our businesses for the nomination for the Business of the Year. I want to thank the Roselle Police Department, because working with Mission Church, they delivered some hams today to me over at POC, and it just so happens that a gentleman that was volunteering there today has a neighbor whose spouse passed here in town, and we were able to give her a ham, try to cheer her up, so thank you so much for that. And finally, just wow, and thank you to the clerk and to the Public Works Department for the tree lighting event. I've never been more proud to be part of Hanover Park when we all came together, and it felt like a Hallmark movie. That's what I'm gonna keep saying. I loved it. It's gonna get better and better, so thank you. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Feliz Dia de los Reyes. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. I did help you with those boxes, and then you blessed me with the 400-pound.
And you helped me with a bigger box.
She sucks you in with one thing, gives you some more to do. Trustee Porter.
Very brief today for a change. Want to mention that the voting is going on right now for the Youth of the Year Award. So just want to remind everyone to make sure that you get your you review those candidates and get your vote in for Youth of the Year. Also, thank the board for their approval of shifting the funds from the Hanover Park Primary School to the Jose Ortega School in Valparaiso due to some problems that we're having in Cape Coast, Ghana with the Hanover Park Primary School. So I'd like to thank the board for doing that. We also, in terms of sister cities, will be having our holiday event tomorrow at Caracas at 6 o'clock, and we're looking forward to having our group get together and celebrate the holidays tomorrow at 6 at Caracas. Wishing everyone a very blessed and happy holidays and a happy new year. And if I don't see you before then, I'll see you in 2022.
Boy, where does the time go? The world was supposed to end in 1984. I had to read that book in high school. Let's see here. Thank you, Trustee Porter. Trustee Kemper?
Yeah, like with Trustee Porter, I'm going to be enjoying dinner with the Sister Cities Committee tomorrow evening at Caracas. Looking forward to that. Always look forward to being with the Sister Cities group. And then on Saturday, the 18th, it is the 18th, right? Yeah. The Lions Club will be hosting a Christmas dinner delivery for needy families in Hanover Park and the area. Along with them will be some members of the Knights of Columbus. And also one of our contractors here in the village of Hanover Park will be having a few people assisting as well. So I'll be looking forward to taking part in that. Hopefully have some pictures to post on the village website once, or the Facebook page, once that event is finished. And with that, I'd like to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, Happy New Year. And I'm looking forward to the next year. Might be a little difficult, but I think we're gonna do very well. With that, again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year.
Trustee Kemper,
Yes.
good luck delivering the gifts.
We mean good luck delivering.
Aren't you Santa?
Hey,
I've
I'm
lost
not gonna
control.
this.
Then again, when did I ever have it?
I wanted a pony. I just want you to.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes. Very quickly, wanted to make our residents aware that we do now in the state of Illinois have a new water assistance program. It's very new. We had information about it in our workshop packet, but I just want to again reiterate that this new program is called the Low Income Household Water Assistance Program. It provides one-time benefits to our residents that to eligible residents, I should say, that will help with reconnecting water that may have been shut off or past due bills. The program is now open, and it's open for the next 2 years. So if you are interested in applying, it's on a website called Help Illinois Families, I believe, or if you Google Help Illinois Families, you should be able to find that program. I also wanted to give a special shout out to Christy and our village staff for putting on such a successful tree lighting ceremony. It truly was spectacular, and I do have to agree with Trustee Gutierrez, it looked like a picture out of a movie. Earlier in the month, I was able to attend the Illinois Muslim Civic Coalition's State of the Coalition event. As it's been mentioned before, we have a very high Muslim American population in the state of Illinois, and it really was great to learn a little bit more about the different pieces of legislation that they've gotten passed throughout the year and some of their current initiatives. It was a great event. We have a new assessor in Hanover Township, Kaja Moinadine. The mayor and I were able to attend his swearing-in ceremony. Kaja has done a lot within the Hanover Township community, and we truly are lucky to have him as our new assessor. That night we learned that he will be the highest ranking Indian American official in Cook County, so it truly just is an honor that we have him. Again, also earlier this week, I joined the mayor and Trustee Husseini at Veranda Community Foundation's event honoring our veterans, and it also doubled as a blanket drive for a local VFW. So again, just very thankful that we have Veranda within our village and all the things that they do to just celebrate our community members and I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. All the things that they do for our community. Also, again, with the mayor, attended Representative Seth Lewis's district opening open house, and was also able to have just more of an in-depth one-on-one meeting with him. So just making our residents aware that that is now a resource that's available to them. They did not have a district office before, and now they do. So if you want to meet with your representative or learn a little bit more about how they can serve as your liaison between yourself and any issues you might be having with state agencies, your state representatives are there to assist you, and they're centrally located in Carroll Stream, right off of Army Trail. I also, before I wish everyone a happy holidays, I just wanted to say that this is the end of the end of the calendar year, but I guess also the end of my, I guess, first year on the board, and it has been an honor and a pleasure to serve alongside all of you, to get to know all of you, and to also do our very best to serve our residents. And I am so thankful that we get to do this, you know, every couple of weeks, and it's really just been an incredible honor serving with all of you.
Thank
And
you.
would like to wish all of you a happy holidays and a new year and a Merry Christmas.
Thank you very
That
much.
concludes my report.
Very good. Trustee Priggy?
I had about a half-hour speech to give. But I'll just say, everybody, Merry Christmas, and have a Happy New Year, and I'll see you next year.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Bob. I was looking forward to you putting me to sleep. With that, I invite you all to come down to my office. I have something for you, and I think you'll enjoy it.
I need to change first.
With that, Madam Clerk, call the roll to adjourn. I need a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Roll call, please.
Yes, trustees, Pusani?
Yes.
Trustee, Gutierrez? Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kemper?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
And trustee Priggy.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. See you in February.
Motion passes, the time is 10:18.
Not if I see you first.
Well, I'll probably see you Saturday.
I think we're all